Some people don't just experience the world, they absorb it. A small shift in tone feels noticeable. A crowded room feels heavier than it should. A single comment lingers longer than expected. And over time, this pattern begins to stand out. Not because it's loud or dramatic, but because it's consistent. These individuals are often described as too sensitive, as if sensitivity is a flaw that needs to be reduced. But psychologically, that description misses something important. Sensitivity is not just about reacting more. It's about processing more. There's a certain kind of person whose nervous system operates with a lower threshold for input. This doesn't mean they are weak or fragile. It means their system is designed to register subtleties that others might filter out. Emotional cues, environmental details, social dynamics, these are not background noise to them. They are part of the foreground. And because of that, their experience of the same environment is fundamentally different. At its core, high sensitivity is linked to depth of processing. Information is not just received, it is analyzed, connected, and integrated. This creates a richer internal experience, but it also increases cognitive load. While others may move on quickly from an interaction or event, highly sensitive individuals continue to process it. They revisit it, reinterpret it, and extract meaning from it. This is not overreaction, it is extended processing. One of the most noticeable traits is emotional intensity. Emotions are not necessarily stronger in a dramatic sense, but they are more layered. A single experience can carry multiple emotional responses simultaneously. This complexity makes emotional experiences feel deeper, but also more difficult to navigate. It requires a higher level of awareness to separate what is being felt and why. Another key characteristic is heightened empathy. Highly sensitive people tend to pick up on the emotional states of others quickly. They notice shifts in mood, tension in conversation, or unspoken discomfort. This ability allows for strong connection and understanding. But it also creates a challenge. When boundaries are not clear, the line between one's own emotions and others' emotions can blur. There is also a strong relationship with overstimulation. Because more information is being processed, environments that are loud, fast, or unpredictable can become overwhelming. This is not about intolerance, it is about capacity. The system reaches its limit more quickly. As a result, highly sensitive individuals often seek environments that are calmer and more controlled. This preference is not avoidance, it is regulation. By reducing input, they maintain stability. Without that regulation, the accumulation of stimuli can lead to fatigue, irritability, or withdrawal. Understanding this need is important because it is often misinterpreted as antisocial behavior. Another important trait is attentional detail. Highly sensitive people notice things that others overlook. Small changes in expression, subtle inconsistencies, minor environmental shifts. This creates a form of awareness that can be highly valuable. It allows for precision in understanding situations. But it also means that fewer things go unnoticed. And sometimes, noticing more is not always comfortable. There is also a connection to conscientiousness. Because they process deeply, highly sensitive individuals often think carefully before acting. They consider consequences, evaluate options, and anticipate outcomes. This can lead to thoughtful decision-making, but it can also slow action. The desire to process thoroughly can create hesitation when speed is required. Another layer involves memory. Emotional experiences, in particular, tend to be stored with more detail. This means that past events can remain vivid. Positive experiences can be deeply meaningful, but negative ones can also linger. This creates a pattern where the past continues to influence the present more strongly. There is also a strong preference for authenticity. Highly sensitive individuals tend to be less comfortable with superficial interaction. They are more attuned to what feels genuine and what does not. This influences their relationships. They may have fewer connections, but those connections tend to be deeper. Quality becomes more important than quantity. Interestingly, sensitivity is often linked to creativity. The ability to process deeply, notice detail, and connect ideas creates a foundation for creative thinking. Whether in art, writing, problem-solving, or conceptual work, this depth becomes an advantage. It allows for original perspectives and nuanced understanding. However, this same depth can create vulnerability to stress. When negative input is processed deeply, it has a stronger impact. Criticism, conflict, or uncertainty can take longer to resolve internally. This does not mean highly sensitive individuals are less resilient. It means their recovery process is different. It often requires time, reflection, and reduced stimulation. Another important aspect is boundary development. Because of their empathy and awareness, highly sensitive people may initially struggle to separate their own needs from others. Learning to establish boundaries becomes essential, not to reduce connection, but to maintain clarity. Without boundaries, the constant intake of external emotion can become overwhelming. There is also a relationship with control over environment. Many highly sensitive individuals create structured routines or controlled spaces. This is not rigidity, it is stability. When external input is unpredictable, internal structure becomes a way to maintain balance. This can appear as preference for routine, organization, or predictability. From a cognitive perspective, there is often a tendency toward reflection. Experiences are not just lived, they are examined. This creates insight. Patterns become visible. Behavior becomes understandable. Over time, this leads to a deeper awareness of both self and others. But reflection can also become rumination if not managed. When the mind continues to revisit the same thought without resolution, it can create mental fatigue. Learning to shift from analysis to release becomes important. Not every thought needs to be processed to completion. There is also a social dimension. Highly sensitive people may feel out of sync in environments that prioritize speed, competition, or constant interaction. Their natural pace is different. They require time to process, to respond, to engage. When this pace is not respected, it can create pressure. However, when the environment aligns with their processing style, sensitivity becomes a strength. It enhances understanding, deepens connection, and improves decision-making. The key is not to reduce sensitivity, but to manage it. Another important factor is self-perception. Many highly sensitive individuals grow up being told they are too much or too reactive. This can create internal conflict. They may try to suppress their sensitivity to fit expectations. But suppression does not remove the trait, it only disconnects them from it. Reframing sensitivity as a form of awareness rather than weakness changes how it is used. There is also a long-term benefit to this trait. Over time, the ability to process deeply creates a more integrated understanding of life experiences. Patterns are recognized, lessons are retained, and meaning is constructed. This creates a form of intelligence that is not always visible, but highly impactful. Ultimately, the psychology of highly sensitive people is not about reacting more. It is about experiencing more. More detail, more connection, more processing. And while that can feel overwhelming at times, it also creates a level of awareness that others may never reach. Because sensitivity is not just about how much you feel. It's about how much you notice and what you do with it. Personally, I've always found that sensitivity becomes less of a burden the moment you stop trying to fight it and start understanding how it works. There's something quietly powerful about being able to notice what others overlook, even if it comes with extra weight. And maybe the real shift happens when you stop asking how to feel less and start learning how to carry what you feel in a way that doesn't consume you.